Shout out to the Midnight Society. We hit 200 subscribers. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. I keep the reviews coming in 2020. Hopefully y'all keep enjoying it. We get a bigger society than we have now. Let's get into 1917. Hopefully the audio in this review is not too bad. I don't have the lapel mic like I usually do, or the lavalier mic. I got a Rode shotgun mic that's going on, so hopefully it's clear and it's not too much background noise and you can hear me clearly. So, as usual, welcome back Midnight Society. It's your boy the Movie Nerd, here with the movie review for 1917. So 1917 stars Dean Charles Chapman, as you know, as Tommen Baratheon from Game of Thrones, and George McKay, which you might know from Defiance. This movie revolves around World War I, and George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman play two British soldiers. They're given a task that the Germans that everybody thinks are actually falling back are not falling back, and it's all a plan. And they're pretty much 1,600 soldiers are about to fall into a trap, along with Dean Charles Chapman's brother. And that's pretty much the plot. They're given standing orders that they have to give to a colonel, where they have to go through enemy territory and give it to him in pretty much a day's time frame. Let's do an exercise real quick. Let's see how long you can hold your breath. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long you hold your breath, because you're going to be holding your breath throughout this movie over and over and over again. I did Uncut Gems. If you haven't seen the review, putting it right here. But Uncut Gems, like I said in the review, it's a roller coaster, up and down, full of anxiety, where you're going up and down and you're just always on the edge of your seat, just pretty much on the tip of your toes. That's how this movie was, times 10. This movie is directed by Sam Mendes. He was the director for Skyfall and Spectre. And the great thing about this movie is that the entire movie is one scene. If you're not the type of person that like jumps into movies and dives in and puts yourself in the protagonist like you're in the movie, this movie does that without you being that type of person, which I think is amazing. There's not a lot of interaction with these two British soldiers outside of themselves, even though you got two Kingsmen in this movie, which is amazing. Colin Firth, Mark Strong, yeah. But the dialogue that you get between these two is all you really need to carry this movie along. With that and the action, that's literally all you need. It made a great movie. Going into this movie, I already knew that it was kind of like a continual shot, like it's supposed to be a one scene thing. But in the beginning, I kind of forgot about it. And then I started watching like, oh yeah, this is all one scene or one shot. It's supposed to look that way. And I'm like, how are they doing that? And the way they do it is pretty amazing. Think of a video game where it's open world in a sense, but you're kind of going on a straight path. I guess it's not really open world, but just vibe with me. The aesthetic changes as the movie goes on, so sometimes it's a vast desert, sometimes they're in a crater, sometimes they're in a broken down building, sometimes you see trees, sometimes there's nothing, sometimes there's lakes. I say sometimes a lot. But the scenery changes help, so you're not looking at it like this is one continual shot, there's nothing really changing, and it helps immerse you into the film. On top of that, since I knew it was a continual shot, I'm like, how are they gonna do these transitions? So they use the dialogue, they use certain stories, they use things that go on in the movie, certain action sequences to kind of help drag from like, or I wouldn't say drag, but guide you from point A to point B, from point B to point C. And I'm kind of noticing how it's going along. I'm like, oh, that's pretty smooth. I would never thought of that. And that's just it. The immersiveness that this movie pulls off is just outstanding. And just the journey for these two soldiers, you really want to know, are those standing orders going to get there in time before they actually go to war, before they go to battle? Or are you going to get there just in time? And it doesn't disappoint you. How this movie ends, how it goes through, and from point A to point B, from the intro to the climax, this movie is just amazing, stupendous, outrageous, all of it. Watching this movie makes me want more one-scene movies, but I don't want it to get too gimmicky, like when Blair Witch came out and all of a sudden this found footage, just it went crazy. Paranormal Activity did it pretty well, and then after that, it was hit or miss. But if there's other writers or directors out there that can pull it off as well as 1917 and Sam Mendes did, go for it. If not, leave it where it is. Let this movie be amazing. The end. All in all, I have to say 1917 is an amazing movie and it's definitely worth a double take. So 1917, let me know what you think if you saw it, if you plan on going to see it, or if you don't plan on going to see it. And as always, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Not even trying to be funny, but my battery literally died in the middle of recording this, so hopefully it meshes together like one scene, like 1917. And as always, it's submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society.